It down.
We're on.
There we go. We're on. Hey, Connie and Rachel here. Today
Hi.
we are going to be talking about stuff that's freaking everybody out. Wouldn't you say it's kind of.
Well, for no reason really, because we're in the state of Texas. And
Yeah.
if we were in any other state, like this whole NAR thing is a disaster
Yeah.
for the United States, but not in
It's
Texas.
not in Texas. I mean, this is stuff we've been doing all along. So I think the media has a lot of hype.
Oh, always.
Oh my God, it's just ridiculous. So, here's how the only thing I don't like, Rachel, and I'll just be honest with you. I don't like that if a buyer gets on our website or they contact us to go see a house, that we immediately have to slap them under some sort of contract
Right.
to go look at a property.
So we've never been those people. We aren't even the people that say, oh, you must be pre-approved before we walk out the door. Because this business is about relationships. And so relationship wise, it's like, hey, look, let's establish some rapport. I may not want to work with you.
Oh, for real.
I mean, this works both ways.
Good example the other day, I got cussed out on the phone.
Right.
Because I said, dude, you want to go see the house? I have to at least have some type of an agreement. And I'm not signing any GD agreement.
Right.
Click.
So yeah, that's not somebody I want to work with.
No, so there's that. That happens, every now and again you're going to get those. And
so I think with us, we've kind of established within the team that, look, you're not going to marry us before we date. So they have come up with a one-page buyer rep agreement. We have started that implementing within the team. It's a one page, just kind of gives it over. It can go 24 hours. It can go for a week. It can go for 2 weeks. That way we have the opportunity to get to know each other, know if this is going to be a good fit for both parties. And then once we have established that trust and bond with each other, then we'll go into a full buyer rep.
Truthfully, we have so many veterans that come in.
Oh gosh.
And they are so worried about all these lawsuits and crap. So I say, look, we're going to sign this for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And if we like each other at the end of 2 weeks, we'll go into a larger agreement, the bigger form. But hopefully within 2 weeks, we got you locked and loaded in a house. But I don't want them to marry me.
Well, even realistically, when have we ever put anybody under a buyer rep for longer than 2-3 months?
We haven't. I've even done them for the day of.
Yes. Exactly.
Hey, you want to see this one house? I need you to sign this.
Right. Because by law, we have to now.
So. I think the public doesn't understand, or the fear is they're going to have to pay our professional fee.
Oh, absolutely.
Up to 3, 5, 10, 20, 100%. And they don't know who you are.
Right. And I'm supposed to give my worth to them in a 5-minute conversation. Right. Well, I can tell you, hey, yes, we've been doing this for 18 years. Hey, yes, there's 5 of us here.
Hey, we're awesome.
Yeah. We're fantastic. We make
we are all you ever need to call.
Yeah, top 250 teams in the entire state of Texas. Like, I swear to you, this is going to be a great experience.
Right. They don't know that. They don't know that.
So to try to explain that worth and have that established and say, here's a 1-year long listing.
And I want you to pay me $9,000.
Right. Just because I said
I am awesome.
It's just not.
So I get it. I get it.
I understand both sides of it. I'm hoping buyers will come to understand that, look, we're not trying to ramrod them into anything. I'm not looking for that. What we do, absolutely, we get paid for what we do. We do a lot.
We do a lot.
We do a ton.
We do a lot, and what the public doesn't see, they go, oh, but you're making $8,000 off this. No, I'm not. I've got a broker split.
Right.
I've got agent splits. I've got everything that goes into that. And for some reason, Rachel, they just don't think we're allowed to make an income and support our families.
Well, exactly.
They don't understand we may go 3, 5, 6 months without a paycheck.
Well, even with that, to hold that contract together and to represent you, if that contract doesn't close, all of that time I've spent with you,
nothing.
Null and void.
It's nada.
I've made nothing.
Now, I have had a little bit of blowback, on someone saying, I just flat am not paying a buyer's agent. Cool. I got a form for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to sign a form that says, I'm not to show you any houses where the buyer agent fee is not covered by either the seller or the listing agent.
Correct.
Kind of changes the game.
It absolutely changes the game. And I kind of feel bad for sellers on that end if it's not explained to them that way, because like you said, we are in a town, at least here in the Abilene area,
Yeah.
we've got three major universities, two junior
Can we just
colleges.
have, yeah, we just have
Yeah,
three.
three major universities, two junior colleges, and Dyess Air Force Base. Everybody around here, the money is great around here, but it's all on paper.
It's all
A
paper
lot
money.
of people don't
Yeah.
have a lot of that money cash on hand.
Right.
So closing concessions are a big deal around
They
here.
are a big deal.
And
You know, and the
buyer
way I
agent fees.
explain it to my seller is, and I'm just going to use an example, and it ain't going to be 6% because the media says that's all we've ever charged. So I'm going to pretend
we have
and
really
say,
undercut ourselves on some.
we have, yeah, we could have been making all kinds of money. So I'm going to say, okay, seller, I'm charging you 5.75% to list your property. However, out of that 5.75,
I'm choosing.
I'm going to give up 2.75% of that and keep the 3 so I can cover my costs. There's a lot of cost in professional photos and marketing and all that. So it kind of evens the playing field. But Mr. Seller, I need your permission to do that.
Right. I need the
And
permission to pay somebody else
I
out of the
need
money
your
I'm charging.
permission to pay what I've earned.
Right.
That
So
you agreed
else.
to pay me.
Right.
But, you know, you're hearing all this, oh, well, seller doesn't have to pay. Well, they don't.
They never
They
have.
never have
They
had
have
to.
never had to pay.
There's never been a fixed rate. There's never been a 6% across the
Right.
board. There's no such thing. That's fixing, and we don't fix.
We don't fix anything.
Pricing.
All commissions are negotiable, and where it's been, and I don't understand if you weren't reading your listing agreement, or, you know, realistically, if your agent didn't tell you, then shame on them.
Shame on them.
Because it is blatantly in there and very obvious, even before the changes,
Even
that says,
before the
hey,
change.
I am charging this amount. Out of that amount, you're going to pay one amount.
Right.
And out of that one amount, I am going to
I'm
pay
going to give up
this percentage to another
That's right.
agent
I'm
that
going to
brings
give
an
up a
offer over.
percentage to someone else.
Now, the crazy thing, though, that's bothering me right now is hearing all the, well, I'm going to list it for 3%, and then the buyer's agent fee is going to be negotiable depending on what they bring for an offer. Here's the problem I have with that for me is I pay that other portion out of my commission to another agent because they're doing half the work. It's still a ton of work to be a buyer's agent. It's a ton of work on both ends.
It's a ton on each end,
and
yeah.
everybody's got to move in a line together, and all the communication has to go, and every step has to be made. So why in the world am I only going to charge 3%? And then if I have to represent the buyer, or I'm sorry, not represent, I'm representing the seller. But if I have to do all the work for both parties.
Well, I'm hoping that if we do get one that way, we try not to. We try to just say, let's just keep it simple, stupid. Let's just kiss it. Let's not kiss it. So I'm, you know, and I'm sure we're going to get one that way.
Oh, yeah.
Because the news has just blown this up stupid. But if we get one that way, and let's say I have a house for sale, the seller said, I'm only going to pay you 2% to list my property, and we work this out, and we figure it out, and we get it negotiated. Well, Mr. Buyer, you come to me and say, hey, I want to see this house and I want to buy this house. Well, first, I'm going to make you sign a form that shows I only represent the seller on this, but I'm going to have to go back to the seller then and go, I'm not doing both sides for 2%.
No.
I am not. I can't represent the buyer. I can only represent you, but I have to make sure that buyer's sticking with it.
Right.
You know, in all the legal ways.
The buyer that comes, so there's so many steps, right?
Oh,
so we have appraisals.
Yeah.
Inspections. You're going to have to handle the buyer's inspection.
Negotiate repairs.
Negotiate the repairs between the buyer and the seller.
Yeah, and we can't.
And you can't.
And
all you can do is refer your seller to what you can. You can
say, okay,
represent your seller.
All right, Mr. Buyer, what are you going to ask the seller for so I can present it to him?
You can't suggest a thing one to the buyer.
So again, we get back to, is a buyer rep important? Yes.
Absolutely.
You can go call every listing agent in town and say, I want to see your house and I want to offer on your house. You have no representation.
Nothing.
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 Nothing. And
good luck.
Good luck.
Because I'm just looking for $1.
Good luck to you. That's exactly right. So let's say that the house is $275,000. That appraisal comes in $250,000. That's my response.
Oh, sorry.
Guess you should have had a buyer's agent.
Guess you're going to be paying
Yeah,
$25,000 out of pocket.
that's right.
You
I
would have
can't
saved
help
more
you.
money with paying an agent.
You'd have saved more money with paying an agent, which is why a lot of times in our team, at least in our
Yes.
office, policy is you send it to another agent within the company and let
Yeah.
them represent the buyer.
Well, it's
But
not
there we
fair.
are back to this again. Oh, what's the seller going to pay?
Right. And negotiate it.
I think you're shooting
Negotiate it.
yourself in the foot by
Absolutely.
saying, "Oh, I can get my property listed for 1%. I don't have to pay a buyer's
Well, you
agent."
can.
Well, and you don't.
You've always been able to, though.
You've always been able to, and you're right though. But now they've got this
idea,
and in the real world, nothing changed in Texas.
Nothing. It's always been this. We've
Nothing.
always had buyer reps.
Mhm.
We've always had the intermediary option available.
Always.
We've always had representation
And
disclosure.
dual agency is not legal in the
It's
state of
not legal,
Texas.
so I cannot legally represent
I
both
can't
parties.
represent both sides.
No.
But if I'm having to do all the work,
Your fiduciary duty as the listing agent is to the
to the
seller
seller,
and to the seller alone.
if you represent the buyer, it's to the buyer and the buyer alone.
Correct.
So I don't know. It's all kind of getting out of hand. And then
I think it's getting out of hand with people's assumptions
assumptions.
and what they think agents actually do. and what they
Everybody wants
don't
to
need,
speculate.
you know.
Oh, I'm going to make up some worst case scenario in my mind. What are we doing?
Well, it's like the car repair that we found on Grandma's car that one time that was the Dr. Pepper can with bubble gum.
Yeah.
It kept the
Yes.
radiator. That's what people are trying to do.
That's what they're trying to do.
They're saying, I'll represent myself.
I'm
Well, you're
gonna
just a
cap
Dr.
a
Pepper
radiator
can.
with bubble gum
With
and
bubble gum.
Dr. Pepper.
And we're good. We'll get down the street.
We'll get there.
But
right.
It takes, what, how long is it? 7 years? You can sue up to 7 years after a contract
I think
closes?
so.
For like
You
an
can,
inaccurate...
well, you can sue up to 2 years after you find it.
Right.
So
There's so
deceptive
many
trade,
things.
you know. Let's say 12 years down the line, I go, I cannot believe they didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 years to sue you.
Right. And you have no idea.
You have no idea it's coming.
All the laws. So I mean, I think this it's going to open like this massive hole
God.
of lawsuits between people.
I think it will. I think it will calm down.
I haven't really
Eventually,
had an
I haven't had
issue
anything
yet.
except that one guy cussing me and hanging up. But you know, I'm working with a lot of VA buyers right now, and they're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And as of August 17th of this year,
Yep.
VA buyers can now pay a buyer's agent. It used to be they cannot.
Right. So with that, with the VA, because we do a lot of VA here with
Oh gosh,
ICF
yes.
space. So we have PCS in, PCS out. There's always at least 2 full rotations each
Mhm.
year with the base. So VA is a big deal here, at least 80% of our market.
Huge deal.
But with VA, there are no limits on seller concessions.
Mm-mm.
So if the seller if you call the other agent, they said, oh, that's negotiable.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I
Here
can roll that in to seller concessions. There will be a field for that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you for closing costs plus my fee.
Yeah, here I come.
In my concessions, because now I'm allowed to. There's
now
no
I'm
limit
allowed.
on that.
Now
on
I'm
VA.
allowed. Yeah.
So there's that too. So we have that option, and where we come back to that form of, do you want to see houses that don't pay? So I'm not a stickler for that of, hey, you can't see it if they don't pay.
No,
But
I'm still going to show it to you.
I'm still going to show it. I'm still going to try to negotiate that. I just need you to be aware on the forefront. That's where that choice comes to you. If I can't get this negotiated,
100%.
then how do I get paid for my time?
How do I get paid for my time?
Because, I mean, we have the most education hours in the entire United States to become a licensed.
Yeah. And then every 2 years.
Every 2 years. Well, and then every 3 with ethics too. So, I mean, like, we have so much education we have to keep up with. We're the only state that does our own full contracts. So there's a lot of liability on us. So there's a ton that we have coming out of pocket money-wise for programs and forms and memberships and accessibilities and everything. And I wish the public saw that part of it. So like you said, what we actually make and what we don't make, we divide out what we have to pay and everything that we do to keep up with.
Everybody wants peace.
I always tell people, I always tell the buyers when they start, I'm like, look, here's how this really goes. Every person has their hand in the honey pot.
Everybody.
Every single one of them.
Everybody.
Lenders, titles, home warranty, agents, everybody has their hand
Has
in
their
a
hand.
transaction.
Yeah, like,
And
oh,
it's,
you got this here. Here's
yeah, you got
mine.
this big pile of money, and it's like, oh,
Oh,
thank you.
there's mine.
This little pick out, and oh, that's mine, and oh, that's
I
mine.
think the thing is too,
So
though, with our team, I think we're different. I think we're above the fray.
we
I
always
mean,
have
there are
been.
some really good realtors out there. Don't get
Oh,
me wrong.
absolutely.
Our realtor
So
community
I love working with.
is strong here in
Yes.
Abilene, but we've always been a little bit ahead of
Try to be.
implementing things
We try to
and
be.
getting things done, and we do our best to do it. And are there going to be mistakes? Probably.
Oh, absolutely. I think though too,
Probably.
though, once we knew this was starting to come down, as soon as
Oh,
we knew it was starting, was
yeah.
okay, pivot. But it really wasn't that big of a
There
pivot
wasn't
because
that
we
big
were
of a
already
pivot. It
doing
was
it.
just new forms. As soon as we got our hands
Yeah,
on the forms,
right.
we implemented it.
But it's nothing we weren't already
But we were
doing.
ready.
Yeah.
We were ready. So
Yeah.
when it rolled out, we were ready. So I feel like, people, we got these new sign writers,
Yes.
buy with confidence. I believe they can,
Yes.
because we know.
Oh,
We know what the
absolutely.
forms are. We know the ins and outs of it. Are they going to change it on us?
Yep.
Yep.
What
November.
Is it November? Yeah,
November.
buddy.
So
Let's
the
do it again.
contracts are changing again in November. I think I'm gonna need Xanax.
Maybe. Like they need to make happy hour at like 11
Oh my
a.m.
God, they need to make it at 8 a.m. I don't know about you, because we're both up at 5 o'clock in the morning by 8 a.m. We're halfway through somebody's normal day.
This is true. My lunch is at 10 a.m.
Yeah, it's time. My dinner's at 4 and my
Yeah.
bed is at 9.
There you go. There you go. Unless there's a deal or
Unless there's a deal.
somebody overseas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, I'm not too concerned about it. I don't know how to combat the news and the media and just even the gossip between people of it. But
Yeah.
I've always been one too to think that I'm not shining a big light on it because it's nothing different.
There's nothing different.
If there was something that was just like huge,
oh
like,
my
oh my
God,
gosh,
I
you
can't
need to know
believe
this,
that
I am gonna
happened.
just hound it everywhere
Then
to say, hey,
it's
you
going
need to know
everywhere.
this.
But as far as everything else, it's just a normal everyday
it is
transaction to us.
still the same exact thing.
Yes, it's
So-
still going to be, it's either going to be a unicorn or a pain in the butt.
The unicorn, right? The unicorn's about once every six, seven months. You get one that's just flawless.
You're
right?
like, what?
They love the house. The first offer is accepted. There's no repairs, and we're ready to close 2 weeks early. And you're like, I didn't earn a dime of that deal. Like, hold on.
I know.
But then the next one is,
Oh,
oh, you're married, but I showed your girlfriend. We need to get divorced, and we can't do that for 90 days here, but we need to extend this.
Yeah.
You definitely, it comes back tenfold to you. Every time you get a unicorn, you almost don't want the unicorn.
You don't want the
like,
unicorn
the next
because
one's
you know
gonna be
what's
so
coming.
bad.
You know what's coming. It's
don't
going to
wanna
be
do it.
bad.
Yeah, every single time. I don't want it anymore. No. So
I don't know. I just think we just keep plugging along.
have you heard the thing of like where they want to pay the rumor of the DOJ like to pay hourly?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
They couldn't afford me.
Nobody could.
I'm just going to say it. They couldn't afford you.
Oh, and there's that on the buyer rep. The new thing on the buyer rep is a showing service, like just to unlock doors. I do nothing else but unlock doors. So we pay for that service too, right? We have to pay a key fee every month.
Every month we pay for that.
The app to do that, but then you have to have the membership to get the key, to pay the key
I've yet
fee.
to see someone do it, but I can't wait to see what they charge to
Oh my
unlock
God,
the door.
can you imagine?
No.
Just to let you in.
I'm going to charge you $100.
Like,
sure.
Yeah. Well, we've seen that at other companies where they're like, hey, if you're too busy, we have showing agents.
$50 an agent.
$50 per door.
Yeah, to go unlock
a
the
door. Well, like I'll drive around all day and unlock doors for
Shoot,
$50.
yeah, man. I think we'll probably come out ahead.
We might by the time you do all this stuff. So, and I know that our clients have always appreciated us, and they didn't realize what a realtor did previous to working.
If anything good
us.
came out of this, it has really opened up the public's eyes to see, because
What do you
actually do for all that? And people are having to explain their job, which is okay.
The thing
It's
that I was
okay.
actually excited about for the change was, okay, somebody ran amok and acted an idiot. That always happens. It's why we get a new form, we get a new something. That's why we have a new lawsuit. There's a new one every other day.
That's why McDonald's coffee says hot.
Right.
Right.
Coffee is hot. You will get burned. Preparation H. Don't put it near your mouth.
Right.
Well,
okay.
Somebody did it.
Somebody did this.
Somewhere down the line. But what I got excited about with it was, like, we get hundreds of calls a day. I mean, literally
Yes.
hundreds of calls a day. And there are some of those buyers out there that are just bored and they just want to go see a house, or they thought it was really pretty.
Looky-loos.
Looky-loos is what we call them.
And that's okay. Looky-loo might know somebody.
They might know somebody, and that's where we've always been, right? Like,
Mhm.
absolutely. I'm going to go show it to you. Do I need you to get pre-approved? No. I'm going to show you one or two, but then you're getting pre-approved.
Then you're going to the lender.
Right? Where
Yeah.
we don't mess around with times, but we're going to build that relationship. This, for me, with that buyer's rep, was a nice way of accountability on both sides.
Both sides.
To say, hey,
Both
are you
sides.
serious?
Are you a serious buyer,
So-
or did you miss the
Right.
open houses on Sunday?
Correct. So, yeah, we're going to do a 24-hour, and we're going to show you, and then we're going to decide if you want to continue to look. But it stops me from having the buyer that wants to really push hard, that they want to see 4, 5, 6 houses,
Yes.
and they know they're pre-approved, but they're not giving you
But
that
they're not
info.
going to do that right
And
now.
so,
yeah.
and every agent falls into that trap, right? You're like, okay,
Mhm.
sure, I'll go do it. And it's just easier to schedule it and do it sometimes.
You know what's funny, Rachel, is we used to sit around when we were brand new, 18 years ago, and watch one particular agent. I'm not going to name him, but you know who I'm talking about, that worked Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Only.
And they had to come to his office first.
Uh-huh.
And they had to have a pre-approval first.
Right.
And they had to have a budget, and he would never show them anything over their pre-approval,
Yeah.
whether they liked it or not. And that man was so successful.
So successful.
And we were like,
How?
how? We're working Saturday, Sunday, 9 o'clock at night. I'm driving out to a client's house at 2 in the morning because he works oil fields. You know?
With the killer pit bulls.
Yes, a dog tried to kill me. And how? And we just kept going, how? Well, talk about being ahead of the curve.
Oh, he was there.
He was 18 years ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
But he wasn't, because it's still the same contract.
It's still
It's
the
just
same thing.
different wording.
He just followed it.
But he followed it. He followed the rules, and he had
business.
structure. He ran a business.
Absolutely. He ran a business.
He ran a business. So if it's doing anything for me, it's pushing me into that.
It is pushing me into that. I think,
I used to have this, oh God, they texted me at 7 o'clock at night. I feel like I need to answer. You can text me at 9 o'clock in the morning. There's nothing I can do for you
at 7
from 7 p.m. all the way till
Yeah.
8, 9 o'clock the next morning, because everybody's closed.
Right. Well, and I think a lot of people have finally
Now,
jumped on board with that concept.
There's always exceptions. Like you said, you've got your overseas military. That's, or
you
your
do have
overseas
people.
client, period.
You
Or
do have people
somebody
that-
that gets off work at 6 o'clock, they get home 7, they open their email and they're freaking out because they got this lender email thing and
Right.
they can't get the lender.
Right.
I
They can't get the lender.
Right.
Right. So they
Why?
get the agent.
Why can't they get the lender?
Because the lender is closed.
Because they're
during
closed.
business. So again, this comes down to the realtor's worth. Because you're going to
Yes.
reach out to me to ask me what that lender
What
needs.
that means.
And I need to know.
And I need to know what that means.
I need to know 5 people's jobs.
I need to know
to help you out.
insurance.
I
need
am
to
the
know
one
flood.
available.
I need to know lender.
Right.
I need to know title company.
Right.
I need to know closing.
Right. And I'm the one available
Right.
at that time for you
Right.
to ask. And I'm the one, while you
So-
are at work doing your job, I'm the one handling the lender. So that
Yes.
you're able to call me, 7 o'clock. We
Right.
turn our phones off at 8.
Oh
It's
yeah, that's it. I'm done.
8
Done.
p.m. to 8 a.m.
Don't.
It's over. I have
Just
a family.
don't.
I have a life.
Right.
And I'm allowed that life.
No, you're not.
Unless, like we said again, you have overseas
No, you're
clients, things like that. Things that are
not.
pre-scheduled, but the panic
Yeah.
call, no more. But with that, when I get that phone call, or I have those evening things that you can't reach everybody else for, the next day while you're at work, I'm handling that.
That's right.
That is my job.
That's right.
Just to
So
make
when you
sure.
get the, oh, you're just not dedicated to me. Well, I'm dedicated to you all day long.
I am
And
there.
all day long, I'm working on something on your file.
Yes.
But, and like I said, I understand, oh, okay, you had this and the kid had practice or whatever you got to go do.
Right.
However,
We still have things we got to do.
I still can't do anything for you overnight.
No.
So,
Well, hold on. Now you're forgetting about other agents that don't respond to their stuff till 1 a.m.
1
because
a.m.
they slept.
1 a.m. 1
So when
a.m.
you wake up at 5 a.m., you're in panic. Like, I hope they're still
Oh
awake.
my God. I missed the text. They finally answered me. I got to wait to get to 1 a.m.
No. It was there.
It happened.
It was a counter offer.
It
Now
happened. Oh my gosh, it happened. It happened so much that our
much.
buyer said, I'm suing them. We're
We're
like, no, that's
you're
just
not.
their working hours.
No, you're not. And
That's when they're able to work
you know,
on it.
I hope
you
that
know?
too. Like leading into that, like I hope when we come down to all of this, and you see, there is a thing of code of ethics and having integrity and honesty in this industry, and there are a few that are just crappy people, and they are out to make a buck.
Few and
But
far between, but they're out there.
they're so minimal. So the majority of people out here are the people that stay in the business,
Right.
are relational. They
Right.
are passionate about this particular
I had
career.
someone tell me the other day, they go, you've been in this how long? I go, well, we've been in it 18 years. They go, oh, God love you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And
I had that at a walkthrough.
I'm like, well, yeah, I guess congratulations is in order.
She said something of, I can't even remember what she said. She said, has that ever happened to you? And I was like, oh, yeah, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, how long have you been doing this? And I go, I think I'm on like year 18. And she goes, oh my God.
I know.
And,
I know.
had this like ew look. And I was like, why ew?
Well,
I'm here
no,
helping you. And she
no.
was like, I know, and I've been horrible. And I go, oh,
Well, a little bit. No, it doesn't, and that's it. It's not a hobby. It's our career.
It is a career. It is not even a job.
It's
it is
a
full
career. This is our profession. This is what we do, and we excel at it.
Yes.
Um,
And enjoy it.
I
love
it. My career.
So,
I mean,
all these little uphill battles, and this isn't the first change.
It isn't even an uphill battle.
No.
This is like change number 85. Do you remember when they changed the MLS system?
Yeah, the whole.
Oh my gosh. The whole
Oh,
real estate community
the,
started shooting purple out of the top of their head.
we've been through an MLS change, the key change.
The key. I liked my little Risco with the
loved
flashlight.
My Risco. It had the little laser, and
Little
you had to push it up against the box, put your code. But then again, somebody messed it up.
Somebody messed it up for us. So
out.
now we had to have the kind that every now and again they don't read the Bluetooth.
They don't read the Bluetooth.
They're not charged.
The box isn't charged, or you're out in the country, you have no Wi-Fi.
Combo king here.
It combos.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's combo.
All combo.
And it's good because if we have somebody from Dallas come in to want to see something here, they can get in it.
Right. And this has happened a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
And when we had the property in Sweetwater listed, 45 miles away from us, and we knew agents there would want to see it, was here you go. Here's the combo.
And we're about to have one out in Roby, another 45 miles away.
Right.
But
there's that too. I don't like listing too much out of our area a whole lot. I like to refer that out, but we do have special clients that
special circumstances. We gotta do it.
And we do it, and we're able to get through it. And I enjoy working with those agents as well out in those smaller areas. So anyway, I think we're all going to be okay.
I think we're all good. I just think once if people quit suing, because there's a new one, and it actually boils down to the buyer rep. The client said they refused to show me a house.
Oh, see, that's what
there it is already.
That's what I was worried about. I was like,
there it is already.
What do we do? Because
this buyer, and I'm not making fun of him, but his name's Homie. And you just want to go, Homie, please. But this guy, Homie, is suing his agent for not showing him a house he wanted to see.
Because it didn't pay.
I'm assuming. That
would be the
but I can't see why any other lawsuit would come out. But they're saying steering and flagging, redlining, and that's what he's suing for.
And that's part of the code of ethics.
So there we go.
It's like,
you're either.
Which one do you want?
What do you want? You got the form, or you're doing the buyer rep. What are we doing?
Right. And who messed it up so much to make a seller think that they were getting screwed over?
I don't know.
They might have been.
I don't know what they do in the Midwest.
I do think in that, because there was stuff in the MLS, which is our listing service website that we have available to us to see what's all listed.
Yeah.
You couldn't put 0 is a buyer's
No.
agent compensation. So you really were forced to even $1. And we had seen a few that were $1.
Yeah, but I guess the thing I don't understand, Rachel, is everything is about full disclosure.
Right.
Full disclosure.
And now,
But now it's hide it.
Yeah, hide it.
Full hiding.
It's negotiable.
It's everything's negotiable. Hide it.
Right. What's negotiable?
If you know it's out there, hide it. Well, why? What are we hiding?
Well, we just had that conversation with another agent
Yeah.
from another company that said, well, really, this is the way it should go. It should be based on your offer, what they're willing to pay. Whoa, what?
Whoa, time out.
How are you getting that offer? Because what if my client signs that piece of paper that says, I don't want to see a house that says they're not?
Right.
Then what?
Then what?
That one, thank God we have that form, because that was created by the lawyers, by our company, to say, because of that exact lawsuit to say steering, redlining, like that's not anything.
So yeah, I didn't know if you'd seen that or not, but I was like, oh, here we go.
That's what we thought.
Choo choo.
Right off. It's gonna go right off a cliff, like. God.
Yeah.
No,
so it's already started. It's not here, and I am going to equate that to, we have promulgated forms by attorneys. I met an agent once in New Jersey, and she goes, oh, we just write it on a deal sheet and send it to the lawyer. We write it. We have the contract. Yeah. So it's a big difference, and I think it's more disclosure here than it probably is anywhere else.
It's more for us to know.
Yeah.
Right? We're deep in that contract. We know those paragraphs. We know paragraph 9, paragraph 11B, whatever. Yes. We know every single one of them that we have to know. And that's where our education is. And I think that's why I'm not going to speak for the whole state of Texas, but the majority of Texas isn't having as large of a pivot. No. Because this is already stuff we knew. This was already stuff we disclosed. These were already in our contracts.
It's already there.
Like it's
already there.
It's been there.
We're
the
like,
time.
What's wrong with them?
So why do I have to pay? The only new form really for us is the listing agent paying me, or is the seller paying me?
And the authorization for the title company to pay us. It's approved by the seller and the buyer.
Correct. So that they can all see, hey, you're getting
you're getting this. Crazy,
because on the closing disclosure, it
there.
Shows it. You have to sign it where it says.
But they won't put it on there now until you have the form that says they're allowed to have it.
So, I mean, it's there on the closing disclosure HUD, whatever form
I am telling you, that form is signed before I walk in a house.
It's going to have to be. It's going to have to be. And I don't want to steer anybody, and I don't want to redline anybody. I want everybody to get their house. You remember Trent, that client that we had? When the for sale by,
a nice fence.
The first sale, yes. The for sale by owner was a perfect house for him. That guy was adamant. 100%. I will not pay you. And this was 15 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I have to tell him, and he couldn't pay me because he was VA.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, I'm not going to stand in the way of you finding your home. Yeah. If that's your home,
go get it.
Here's this guy's number. Set yourself an appointment. Go look at it. Right. I will help you with questions as I can that I'm legally allowed
to.
But I don't want to stand in between that. And he didn't buy the home.
He didn't buy it.
He didn't buy it, and he didn't buy it because he was like, I don't feel comfortable,
I'm not comfortable
going through the process alone.
By myself. Right.
Great. That's what we're here for.
Well, I'm going to have to cut us off because we've got to go explain to a seller how all this works. But yeah, we'll dive more into this stuff later.
I'm sure. We have so many.
We have so many scenarios.
So
but
next
anyway, next week sounds great. Thanks for talking with me today. Yeah. Next week it's on you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right.